Hello, everybody, and welcome to PFK The Show Legends League, a box score breakdown. We're looking at box scores from Series 2 action. We got through two whole series, which is, a full week of action for our opening day fiesta. A lot of surprises, and let's just dig right in and start looking at some box scores. The Mariners played against the Twins and took 2 of 3 games. Have a look under the hood here. The Twins, just like all the cupcakes, have been absolute surprises so far. I wonder if we're going to see as much carnage in tonight's box scores. A big 4 for 4 from Edgar, drove in 4 runs and scored 2 himself. Griffey Sr. got a spot start in center field and led off in this one, went 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. His son, the junior, getting the day off. Billy Williams, the hit machine, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, a ribby, and a walk. 2 home runs for Edgar and 1 for Billy Williams. He's everywhere. Derek Lowe takes the loss for Minnesota, and Bucky Walters goes the distance for the Mariners. 9 innings, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 10 Ks, and 5 hits allowed. Great day for Bucky. We saw the Mariners take out the Twins behind a strong start from Pedro Martinez, a 4-1 win over Andy Messersmith and the Twins. And then the finale, the Twins got their revenge, shutting out the Mariners, only allowing 2 hits. That's a pretty typical Mariners box score. As a lifelong fan, I've seen far too many of those. George Sisler had 3 doubles in the victory for Minnesota. Acuna led this one off. Griffey Jr. back in the lineup, but Acuna and Winfield were the only Mariners to collect hits in the losing effort. 2 walks drawn as well from the squad. Christy Mathewson takes the loss for Seattle, going 7 innings, allowing only 1 earned run. That is a tough luck loss. 6 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts in a fantastic performance. I believe that's Jim Cat on the other side, pitches the shutout, 2-hit shutout, only allowing 4 base runners. What a game. So we are starting with the AL West and going backwards today because I figured, hey, as long as I'm going one direction and not all over the place, it's a lot easier. So we got the Athletics falling 2 out of 3 games to the Astros. Let's see how it happened. Game 1, the A's couldn't get the bats going again and were victimized by a 2 for 4 day by George Springer. Brad Ausmus adding an RBI. Springer goes deep and steals a base. The Athletics only had 2 players collect hits. George Bell and Fury Gene Tanachi both had 2 hits. Musial and Bagwell draw walks, as does Phillips. Burley Grimes with the big win for Houston. I think he was a guy who used to smear pine tar on the ball to get his movement. And then Oakland had Brett Saberhagen take, here's another tough luck loss. Only 1 earned run allowed through 7 innings. Allows 3 base runners, strikes out 5. And yet his team can't back him up. They did get the offense going in Game 2, winning 8-3 on only 7 hits. So the walk machine must have been going for Oakland. Houston puts 10 hits on the board, but only scores 3 runs. Paul Molitor goes 2 for 4. Al Simmons gets a 1 for 4 day with 3 walks. Yep, the walk machine was going. The Athletics walked 13 times in this game. Stan Musial struck out in all 4 of his at-bats, but still somehow gets an RBI. I'm wondering how the heck that works out. Is that a swinging drop third strike and then he runs to first base and is safe and then a run scores? That's weird. Would have liked to see that one in person. Bagwell 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored, and Honus Wagner drives in 3 runs and walks twice himself. Honus does go deep in the contest. Mike Queller with another great appearance for Houston, 8 Ks in 5 innings, only 1 earned run. Vida Blue, the ace for the A's, takes the win. He allows 10 hits over 7 2/3, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 7 Ks on the day. Jose Alvarado comes in for a 4-out save. And in Game 3, Houston strikes back, winning this one 7-3, putting up another 10 hits and limiting the A's to 4. Big day for Adam Kennedy, hitting second. Oh, Honus Wagner out of the 2-hole today goes 1 for 5 with, I believe, a 3-run home run. Yep, it was. I forget Mays' first name, but he's been great so far for the Astros. 1.68 ERA after 2 turns through the rotation with 2 wins. Phil Niekro gets the loss, 5 earned runs through only 4 1/3, 1 walk, 7 hits, and 4 strikeouts. His ERA sitting at 5.55. Jack Flaherty allows 2 through his 4 innings, so he did better than Niekro. 2 walks, 5 Ks, 3 hits. The Angels took on the Texas Rangers and won 2 out of 3 games. I believe this is the one we saw, right? Yep, J.R. Richards started, and it was a marathon of a game with the Rangers winning in walk-off fashion. I believe it was Buddy Bell goes deep to end that one. Game 2 was also a big bruising affair. The Angels put up 18 hits. The Rangers put up 17, and the final score of 13-10 goes in favor of the Angels. Mookie Betts goes 3 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Ted Williams, a 2 for 4 day with an RBI and 2 runs himself. He also draws a walk. Dale Murphy with 5 RBIs brings his batting average up to 130 on a 2 for 5 day. And Chase Utley goes 3 for 5, 2 runs, 2 RBI. Betts, Murphy, and Utley all go deep in this contest. Big day for Enos Slaughter, going 4 for 5 with 3 runs scored. Cy Young gets the win in this one, allows 13 of those 17 hits against the Rangers. He allows 7 runs, only 5 of them earned through 7 innings. He walks 1 and strikes out 5. Sean Doolittle comes in for the save, allowing 1 hit and no earned runs, striking out 1 in his 1-inning save. And the Angels take the finale, winning 6-3, again in extra innings. So they played a 12-inning and a 14-inning contest in this 3-game series. Jose Reyes goes 2 for 6, leading off with 1 run and 1 walk. Wade Boggs, a 2 for 4. He walks twice, getting on base 4 times in a banner day. Chase Utley with a 3 for 5, RBI, and a walk as well. Piazza, Boggs, and Murray all leave the yard in the victory. And Max Scherzer does not factor into the decision because this was an extra inning game. He goes 6 1/3, 2 earned runs. He strikes out 9, so he's got great K/9 numbers so far. 7 hits, 2 walks. The win goes to Jeff Reardon, who I believe got the loss in the previous game. He's already 1-2, factoring into a lot of decisions in the first 2 series of the year. Sean Doolittle picks up his 2nd save in as many days, striking out 2 in his 1 inning of work. On to the AL Central. The Tigers took on the Kansas City Royals in a 2-game stint. They take the first game 6-1 on 11 hits, shutting down everybody but Eddie Rosario on that Royals lineup. Martinez for Detroit goes 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 1 run. Mickey Mantle goes 1 for 4 with a run scored. He may be slowing down a little bit after that absolutely furious start to the season. Robinson Cano 3 for 4 with 1 run and 3 RBIs. Cano leaves the yard. Martinez grabs a double. Fernando Valenzuela gets the win. 8 1/3 strong innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and he strikes out 9. Osuna comes in to slam the door behind him. And in game 2, after a day off, the Tigers just stomp on the Royals 7-0. Only 3 hits allowed for the Royals and only 2 walks on top of that. They struck out 11 times as a team. Eddie Matthews goes 1 for 3 with 3 RBI. Canseco and Posada add 2 RBIs of their own. Votto, Matthews, and Canseco all draw walks for the walk-happy Tigers. Matthews steals a base. Canseco and Posada go deep. Mantle and Matthews swat doubles. Carrasco takes the loss for the Royals, and it's Walker Buehler getting his first complete game of the year, and it's a shutout. 11 Ks in 9 innings, 3 hits allowed, 2 walks. What a day for Walker. All right, that's the Tigers at 5-0. They are undefeated and clearly leading the AL Central. Cleveland Indians hosted the Chicago White Sox in a 3-game set, and the White Sox took 2 of those games. Game 1 was a 5-3 victory by the White Sox in extra innings, winning this one in the top of 10, scoring 2 runs. Adrian Beltre with a 2 for 5 day, 2 RBIs. Mel Ott also 2 RBIs on a 1 for 4 performance. He did strike out 3 times. Freeman and Kinsler also picking up 2 hits. A triple for Ott, a home run for Beltre, doubles for Beltre and Kinsler, and a nice steal for Trout. The Indians couldn't get much offense going. 2 hits from Vizquel. Nobody else collected more than 1. 2 walks for Frank Robinson, however. Doubles for Brothers and Gibson, a triple for Hornsby. Ooh, 3 grounded into double plays. 1 from Hornsby, 1 from Brothers, and 1 from Josh Hamilton. Gaylord Perry goes 7 2/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 hits, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He doesn't get the decision, though. Bruce Sutter comes in and gets the win. 1 1/3 innings, 1 walk, 1 hit, and 2 Ks, no runs allowed. Gagne comes in to slam the door for the save. Curt Schilling also does not factor into the decision. He gives up 3 earned through 6 innings, 2 walks, 5 hits, and strikes out 9. Wilbur Wood takes his first loss of the year in 3 innings of 1 earned run work. He strikes out a promising 4. Lowering his ERA to 10.12. And then game 2 was the one we watched. Just a brilliant performance by Roy Oswalt, except for limiting the walks and strikeouts. So I guess it wasn't brilliant. It was just low scoring. Chicago takes game 3, 5-1. The Indians only mustering 6 hits on the day. Lou Brock with a great 3-for-4 day out of the leadoff spot. His average sits at 400 after 2 series. DJ LeMahieu adds 2 RBIs in a 1-for-4 day. Mike Trout goes 2-for-4 from the cleanup spot. Only doubles for the Sox getting it done. And for Cleveland, it's Robinson collecting 2 hits. Looks like he hit a solo shot to account for the only home run. Everybody else on the lineup was pretty much overwhelmed, striking out 11 times collectively. Mike Cameron yet to record a hit on the season. Same with Collins at third base. Indeed, that was a solo shot for Frank Robinson. Steve Carlton goes the distance, 9 innings. He allows 1 run. He strikes out all 11 batters and allows 7 base runners. Roy Halladay takes another tough loss. He allows 4 earned through 5 innings, 9 hits, no walks, and only strikes out 3. And then we just saw the Sox. So we're on to the Blue Jays. They faced up against the Cincinnati Reds and took 2 of 3. We saw Roger Clemens put up a gritty start against those Reds, who have a fantastic lineup. The Reds did take game 1. They put up a big inning in the top of 5, scoring 6 runs in a hurry. Toronto only able to scrape together 2 runs the rest of the ball game. Home run from, I think is that George Bell for the Reds? I think he is. Kenny Lofton 2-for-4, a run and an RBI. He strikes out twice. Fred McGriff has a 2-for-4 day. He's hitting .411, one of the spring training stars who has carried his performance into the year. Wally, it's either Shang or Chang. I've seen it written differently in different places. I got to figure that one out, but he has a 2-for-3 day. Actually out in right field. There's a surprise. That's their backup catcher. Okay. That was a good day. Kenny Lofton and Johnny Mize leave the yard. I guess that's 2 solo shots on the day. Josh Beckett shoulders the loss, 6 earned runs allowed through 5 innings. He walks 1, allows 8 hits, and only strikes out 3. Trevor Bauer strong in relief, 4 strikeouts in 4 innings. No earned runs allowed, no walks, only 3 hits. Game 2 was a close one, a low-scoring affair, 2-1 in favor of Toronto. The teams only combining for 9 total hits. 11 Reds strikeouts on the day. Clemente led the way for the Blue Jays, going 2-for-4, scoring 1 of their 2 runs. Not much else going in this one. Fred McGriff goes 2-for-4 to keep his batting average on fire. 5 walks drawn by the Blue Jays, and they limited their strikeouts incredibly. Fred McGriff collects the only extra base hit for the Jays in the win. Lofton and Clemente swipe bags, and big man Johnny Mize gets caught stealing. Wait. Oh, this is the Clemens game? Oh, duh. Yeah, this was the Clemens game. That was the game we watched. I usually don't do that because we watch the games and we see the box scores earlier. Oh, well, free one. Here we go for game 3. Toronto scrapes out a win, 6-5. So this one, Cincinnati tied it in the top of 8, and then Toronto was able to win it in the bottom of, putting up 1 more run, and then turning to their closer to shut the door. Luis Aparicio goes 2-for-4 with a run. Johnny Mize has 2 RBIs. And then I'm not sure which Wells that is. Is that maybe even Vernon Wells, who gets the start in center today? He goes 2-for-3 with 2 runs and 3 RBIs. He walks once. Nolan Arenado draws 2 walks, though he does not record a hit. Yeah, Vernon Wells. What a big day. That's awesome. Vernon Wells, 2 home runs in the spot start. Jackie Robinson swipes 2 bases. Aparicio also grabs 1. And Thurman Munson, Mr. Caught Stealing himself. Guess what? He gets caught stealing. Tom Seaver allows 4 runs, only 3 earned in 6 innings. He allows 4 hits, walks 3, only has 1 strikeout. Papelbon collects the save, not allowing a run, only allowing 1 hit, but recording no strikeouts himself. On to the AL East. The Tampa Bay Rays were swept by the surging New York Yankees. All in low-scoring affairs, so this was good pitching and not a lot of hitting. This was boring baseball for the most part. Nobody scores in this one until the 9th inning when Vern Stevens hits a 2-run shot to account for all of the offense. Merrifield, Alomar, and Simmons all grab hits for the Jays. Cody Bellinger gets on twice with 2 walks. 2 sacrifice hits in the game and a stolen base for Merrifield is the rest of the excitement. Patrick Corbin stays really, really strong. 8 innings pitched, no earned runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 8 Ks. His ERA is at 0.00. Way to go, Patrick. Keuchel comes in and gets the loss he pitched the entire 9th inning and allowed 2 earned on 2 hits. Rough. The whole game came down to 2 at-bats there. Game 2 was another snooze fest until late. New York putting up 2 runs, 1 in the first, 1 in the 7th, and then Tampa Bay scraping their 1 run back in the 9th, so at least it was close. Yeah, the AL East was my group of death for the AL because I thought the 3 Legends League teams were so stellar, and I was not expecting the Yankees and Red Sox to come out looking like 2 of the hottest teams in the division. Foster with a 2-for-4 day. Posey goes 1-for-4, drives himself in on a home run. A-Rod an 0-for-3, but he draws a walk. Steals for Rodriguez and Foster. John Lester, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts in the loss. Rogers and Bedrosian with clean innings behind him. Oh, no, that's the wrong way. There we go. Game 4 saw almost as many runs as the previous 2 combined. 4-2 win for the Yankees. It was tied going into the top of 9 when the Yankees won it. Wee Willie Keeler goes 1-for-4 with 3 RBIs. And Vern Stevens stays hot for the Yankees. 2-for-4 day with a run and a ribby. A-Rod goes 2-for-4, a run and an RBI himself. And Tony Fernandez a 1-for-3 with a run. He also walked. Not much else going for the Rays in this one. Double for Merrifield, triple for Rodriguez, and a steal for Bellinger. Greg Maddux only allows 2 through his 5 innings of work, only strikes out 2, walks 2, and allows 6 hits. And it's Keuchel who takes another loss. He has 2 in a row in this series. He went 3 2/3, allowing 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 hit, and struck out 4. We just saw the Yankees. Let's see. The Orioles played 3 against the Red Sox and took 2 of them for their win column. Corey Kluber getting the win in Game 1, a 10-3 victory, 15 hits for Baltimore in the contest. Pete Rose, a 3-for-5 day out of the leadoff spot, raises his average to 444. Beltran hitting hot behind him, a 411 average on a 2-for-5 day, 3 RBIs and 1 run. Hank Aaron and Prince Fielder both go 2-for-4, Hank Aaron driving in 4. Tulowitzki collects 3 hits in his 4 at-bats as well. Hammer and Hank Aaron went deep twice in this one. Also got plunked by a pitch. I wonder if that was in retaliation. Corey Kluber, 8 innings, 10 Ks, 2 earned runs, 7 hits, 1 walk in the win. No, we have not seen team standings yet. We will look at that at the end, and we'll also have a brief look at the league leaders. Game 2 is a victory for the Red Sox. The Orioles limited to 1 run in this one. Offers from Rose and Beltran and Molina. Everybody else picked up at least 1 hit, and only Longoria was able to score, driven in by Rafael Palmeiro. Triple for Hank Aaron, raising his slugging percentage a little bit. Longoria swipes a base as well. I think this is early win for Baltimore. He goes 5 innings and gets the loss, 3 earned runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, and only 1 strikeout. Ubaldo Jimenez looking good in relief, 3 Ks through 4 innings, doesn't allow a run, only walks 1, and allows 1 hit. Game 3 was Baltimore back in the victory column, winning this one 5-2. They put up 5 runs on only 6 hits, so timely hitting for the Orioles, as well as 4 walks drawn. Carlos Beltran, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Pete Rose and Carlos Beltran both hit home runs in the victory. Tulowitzki and Pedroia both commit errors, though they should be one of the better double play tandems up the middle. Hank Aaron gets caught stealing a base. Nolan Ryan with the victory. Oh, this was the game we watched. 7 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned, 7 walks and 12 strikeouts. Welcome to the Nolan Ryan experience. I love it. Mo Rivera, 1 walk and nothing else in his 1 inning of work for the save. Okay, on to the NL, starting with the NL West. The Giants take 2 of 3 from the Diamondbacks. They win the first game 5-4. The Diamondbacks collected 9 hits, out-hitting the Giants 9-6 in this one, but were unable to put more than 4 runs across. Will Clark, a 2 for 4 day, leads in the hit column, and Miguel Cabrera drives in 3 of the 5 runs. A triple for Willie Mays, and home runs for Cabrera and Clark. Joe Torre commits an error behind the dish, and Tony Gwynn adds a steal. Somehow Jake Lamb got a start. That doesn't make any sense. 2 home runs from Jake Lamb. Okay, never mind. The Cupcakes never cease to surprise. Who would have thought Jake Lamb would be a worthwhile player in Legends League? I mean, he played his way into a spot when I was tinkering with these rosters. So, throw my hands up sometimes. Catfish Hunter gets the win. He allows 4 earned through 6 innings, 9 hits, 1 walk, and he strikes out as many as innings he pitched with 6. Smith, Beck, and Nen each come in for a hold, and then finally the save, allowing no more runs throughout the contest and no more hits. Game 2 for the Giants is a 5-3 win. 12 hits for this one in the Giants. This one was just all Giants from front to back, it looks like, though Arizona did lead briefly in the bottom of 5. Willie Mays, a 2 for 5 day. He scored twice. Duke Snider, a 2 for 4 with a walk. He drove in a run and scored 1. Could have been a solo shot. Cabrera, 2 for 3 with 2 walks. He gets on base 4 times. And Joe Torre with a 3 for 4 day from behind the dish. Willie Mays, Duke Snider, and Barry Larkin all go deep. Tony Gwynn adds another stolen base. His wheels are really proving to be a weapon here in the early going. He hit a big triple in opening day against the Dodgers. Blake Snell getting the start. He allows 3 earned runs in 6 innings, allows 4 hits, 3 walks, and strikes out only 2. It really seems like the strikeouts are at more of a premium than I thought they would be. Another really good performance by the bullpen in this one from the Giants. And then Arizona was able to get some revenge, winning Game 3 4-3. Though the Giants only put 1 on the board until the top of 9 when they scraped back 2 runs. Tony Gwynn, a 1 for 5. Duke Snider, a 2 for 4. His average sitting at a cool 428. Willie Mays 0 for on the day. Joe Torre, a 2 for 3 spot. He's hitting 375, which is one of the better catcher performances we've seen so far. Home runs from Gwynn and Torre, and an error from Barry Larkin. Clayton Kershaw shoulders the loss. He allows 3 runs, only 2 earned in 5 innings, 7 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Mike Scott, trying to push his way into the rotation, pitches 2 clean innings and strikes out 2. Onwards to the Padres. We just saw the series finale where the Padres swept the Braves behind a wonderful game pitched by Satchel Paige. This one was really down to the wire. So let's rewind the series and see how we got here. Game 1 was an 8-7 victory for the Padres. 8 runs on 13 hits to Atlanta's 12. So this one was equally close. This one was actually a walk-off for San Diego, scoring a run in the bottom of 9th to break the tie. Sadaharu O has a 1 for 5 day with 3 RBIs. I bet that's a home run. Harmon Killebrew, 1 for 4, probably also a solo shot there. Al Kaline, who is the Padres' new nemesis after he robbed a big home run in the game we watched today. He went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and drew a walk. Eddie Collins, 2 for 5 out of the leadoff. Garciaparra continues to draw those starts at short, refusing to go with the general manager's depth chart, which says that Gehringer should be starting out of position at short. And Garciaparra keeps proving that he deserves these starts. He goes 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored, walks once, drives in 1. His average sitting at 450. Gary Carter goes 2 for 4 with a ribby as well. O and Garciaparra go deep. For the Padres, Willie McCovey keeps it going. 3 hits in 5 at-bats, 3 runs, and 3 RBI. Joe Morgan with a 3 for 4 day, 2 runs, and an RBI for himself. McCovey hits 2 dingers, Morgan gets 1, and Chris Bryant adds 1. Did he get a start here? He did. Chris Bryant got a start at first base and went 1 for 4. 2 steals for Joe Morgan. He's a real fantasy threat if we were playing fantasy baseball on top of this. Is this Dazzy Vance for Atlanta? I think this is Dazzy Vance. 5 innings pitched, 4 earned, 4 strikeouts. He walked 3 and allowed 8 hits. And Bob Lemon gets a hold, though he allows 2 earned runs in 2 innings. And Bert Blyleven finally takes the loss there in the bottom of 9, allowing 2 earned runs. Oh, if he allowed 2 earned runs, he must have pitched part of the 8th and the 9th. That's weird. Oh, I guess he since it was a walk-off, there were some outs left unrecorded. So that's quite an odd thing. Oh, who is this Adams for the Padres? Whoever the Padres have named Adams went 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, doesn't strike out a single guy, but keeps the damage to a minimum so his team could stay in it. Bartolo Colon allows 3 earned runs in an inning and a third, 4 hits, no walks, 1 K. His ERA is at 13.50. Fun. Big like Big Bartolo. Harris gets the win at the back end of the bullpen. 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, nothing else allowed. And then game 2 was another victory in walk-off fashion for the Padres. This whole series was just a barn burner. They win 5-3 on 11 hits to Atlanta's 12. Eddie Collins 3 for 7 out of the leadoff spot for Atlanta. Al Kaline drew 2 walks. Ty Cobb drew 3 walks. Got 3 RBIs on his lone hit of the day. Tons of walks for Atlanta in this one. 9 free passes, though they did strike out 12 times. And it was that lack of timely hitting that led to a lot of runners left on base. Again, 12 hits to only 3 runs scored. Ty Cobb did go deep in the contest. Jackson getting a rare leadoff spot for San Diego. He goes 1 for 6 with a run. Hank Greenberg goes 3 for 5 with a run scored. Willie McCovey may have added yet another solo shot here. And Bryant gets a start in center, goes 2 for 5 with a run scored. Willie McCovey and Josh Donaldson go deep. Yeah, Willie McCovey must be one of our home run leaders so far. Walter Johnson goes 6 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 8 Ks. Stan Kovaleski blows the save, though doesn't get charged with an earned run. I'm very confused about how that works. If anybody can puzzle out what happened with this box score here, right? Johnson allows 3. Well, I guess Kovaleski maybe allowed the runs that got charged to Johnson. I don't know enough about official scoring rules to know what's up with that. Wadey Hoyt allows the loss. He allows 2 earned runs in the bottom of 12 when the Padres walk off. Tim Lincecum looking a lot better in this one. He goes 5 innings, allows 3 runs, only 1 earned. He does walk 5, but strikes out 6 and allows 6 hits. Johnny Cueto, Dennis Eckersley, and Jesse Orosco combined for the remaining 7 innings, not allowing another earned run and striking out 6 between the 3 of them. Moving on to the Dodgers, they faced off against the Colorado Rockies at home and swept the series. The Dodgers win Game 1 5-2, both teams recording 8 hits. George Brett drives in 3 runs out of the 2-hole. He goes 1 for 4. 2 hits for Charleston. Oscar Charleston at cleanup with 1 RBI. And Pop Lloyd adds 3 hits out of the 8-hole. He's hitting .533 on the year, our spring training batting average leader. 5 doubles for the Dodgers. They didn't put one over the wall, but it didn't matter. They were able to get the runs home. Speaker steals a base. Smith, don't know which Smith this is. Still trying to memorize everybody. He gets the win. 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. Tom Henke and Craig Kimbrell both come in with strong appearances out of the bullpen. Game 2 was much closer, a 9-8 win for Los Angeles. Colorado doing most of their damage in the very late going, adding 6 runs in the 8th and 9th innings. Tris Speaker going 2 for 4, hitting .388 out of that leadoff spot. 2 runs, 1 RBI, and 1 walk. Oscar Charleston adds a 3 for 5 day with 2 RBIs. RBI. Sorry, RBIs is wrong because it's runs batted in, right? So you have to say RBI. Yeah, Oscar Charleston with 2 RBI. Yogi Berra adds a 3-for-5 day with 2 runs scored and 1 RBI. Luis Santop, 3-for-4, 2 runs and 3 RBI. Pop Lloyd adds 2 hits, keeping his batting average at a stellar .526. Charleston and Berra leave the yard, and just a whole group of doubles for the Dodgers. Speaker had 2, Minoso had 1, Charleston had 2, Berra, Santop, and Pop Lloyd had 2. Speaker and Brett with steals on top of all of that. Eddie Plank goes 7 1/3, allows 6 earned runs, but it's enough to get the win. 7 hits, 11 Ks in his 7 1/3 innings of work. He did walk 5. And then in Game 3, the Dodgers finished off the sweep with an 8-5 win, scoring 5 runs in the bottom of 7 to secure the win. Looks like it was Pop Lloyd doing most of the damage with a 2-for-3 day, 3 runs scored, and 3 RBIs. Bobby Doer also drove in 3, and Luis Santop drove in 2. So the bottom 3 hitters of the lineup accounting for all of the run production in this one. Awesome. Pop Lloyd hitting .545. He's going to be a name to watch as this season goes on. Really early, impressive player. Pop Lloyd and Bobby Doer do leave the yard. Looks like they probably both did in that late going. Rube Waddell doesn't factor into the decision. He only goes 5 innings, but strikes out 10, 2 batters an inning. He allows 4 earned runs and walks 1, and he allows 8 hits in the contest. Frank Tanana gets the win, going 2 innings and allowing 1 earned. Kimbrel locks down the save with 2 strikeouts in a clean inning at the end of the game. On to the NL Central. The Brewers drop 3 in a row to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are able to stay perfect on the season with a 6-0 record. We watched Game 3, in which Randy Johnson and Masaichi Kaneda squared off in a battle of the Giants. I actually want to look at the box score for this one, because this one was gnarly. 10 hits for the Brewers, 8 hits for the Cardinals. This really felt like more of a slugfest than what the numbers look like. A lot of really hard hit balls all over the place. Mark McGwire with 3 RBIs. Babe Ruth actually goes 0 for 5, and despite absolutely destroying in spring training, he has a .222 average through 2 series. But the Cardinals are able to win without him, I guess. Ramirez, McGwire, Schmidt, and Gonzalez all go deep for St. Louis. Ichiro Suzuki adds a steal. The Brewers kept getting runners on base, but just couldn't put the magic together when it counted. There were lots of narrow escapes by the St. Louis pitching staff. In this one, the bullpen came in and did a great job. Oh, no extra base hits for the Brewers. That'll be the difference in this game. Barry Bonds did barely miss a really, really huge home run in the middle innings that would have changed the game, but it hit off the wall for a loud single. Randy Johnson got the win, going 5 1/3 shaky innings. He only allowed 2 earned runs and 8 base runners, and he struck out 7. And then the bullpen came in and did a great job for the Cardinals. The Brewers behind Masaichi Kaneda, he allowed 4 earned runs, 6 hits, and 2 walks in 5 innings, and struck out 6 Cardinals. He does take the loss, though. Sparky Lyle's 3 earned runs allowed on a Mark McGwire big blast in the top of the 7th really sealed the deal for St. Louis. And then rewinding back to the top of the series. First game was a 9-6 victory for the Cards. 13 hits for St. Louis, 10 for Milwaukee. St. Louis putting up 5 in the first inning, Milwaukee tying it up in the 3rd, and then St. Louis scores 3 in the 5th and never looks back. Ichiro, a 2 for 6 day. Manny Ramirez doesn't collect a hit, but he does walk twice and scores a run. Babe Ruth collects a hit in this game and scores a run himself. Juan Gonzalez, though, was the big leader with a 3 for 4 performance, 2 runs scored of his own. And Ozzie Smith collected 3 RBIs out of the 9-hole, going 2 for 5. Lots of extra base hits, but no homers for the victorious Cardinals. The Brewers were led by Albert Pujols, who drove in 3 RBI on his one hit. Barry Bonds collects 1 hit and walks twice. His average still sitting at .538. Johnny Bench, a 2 for 4 day. Alan Trammell, though, is the leader for the Brewers, going 3 for 4 with 2 runs and 3 RBI. RSBI, my apologies. Albert Pujols goes deep. Alan Trammell goes deep twice, and Naplajoie steals a base. Addie Joss, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 8 hits, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. He's going to be one of the pitchers to watch for the Cardinals this year. He picks up his first win, his record sitting at 1-0, but his ERA is at 10.12, which for a 99 overall pitcher is not what you want to see. Shane Bieber keeps looking good. 1 inning of clean baseball, strikes out 1. He has a 3.85 ERA. And Andy Cooper keeps his run column clean, having not allowed any yet this season. He collects his second save. Zach Greinke doesn't get the loss, but he does give up 5 in only 2/3 of an inning. His ERA sitting at 67.5. We have injuries off, so what the heck is going on there? The thing that this could be is ejections are still on. So it's possible that Zach Greinke, just gave up a nightmare of a first inning and then started throwing a fit and got tossed. So it's actually Dontrelle Willis that gets saddled with the loss in this game. 4 innings of 3 earned runs. 3 earned run ball, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 3 Ks. Really dropped off his performance since a stellar spring. Hopefully he'll turn that back around soon. The Pirates took 2 of 3 from the Chicago Cubs. They win Game 1 8-4, the Cubs scoring all 4 of their runs in the last 2 innings. Pittsburgh put up 16 hits, so this one could have been a lot worse for the Cubs. Frank Thomas, a 4-for-5 day, puts up 3 RBI and scores 2 runs himself. Willie Stargell with a 3-for-5 with 3 RBI. Thomas and Stargell both did leave the yard. It was Madison Bumgarner who gets the win for Pittsburgh. He pitched 8 innings, only allows 2 runs, doesn't walk a guy, allows 7 hits, and strikes out 5. Kaz Sasaki getting a lot of run from this AI Pittsburgh manager. His ERA sitting at 6.75, gave up 2 earned in 2/3 of an inning today. Armando Benitez bailed him out of a 9th inning jam, though the game didn't get close enough to become a save situation. Game 2 was a 4-2 win for Pittsburgh. Again on 10 hits, so it could have been even worse. Need some more timely hitting from this Pirates squad. Andre Dawson goes 2 for 3. He walks twice, scores, and drives in a run. Frank Thomas, a 1 for 4. Jimmy Rollins, 2 for 3. A triple from Dawson was the biggest extra base hit, and a steal from Rollins out of the 9-hole. Hippo Vaughn keeps looking really good. 2.57 ERA through 2 starts. He picks up his first win of the year. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. K-Rod, I think he looked shaky at the end of spring, but he has yet to allow a run in the early going of the regular season. And Goose Gossage looked good in spring and has been really good so far in the regular season. He gets his second save, striking out 2 in 1 inning. Has yet to allow a run. And Game 3 was all Chicago Cubs. Pittsburgh only able to scrape together 4 hits and plate 2 runs. Chicago had 14 hits and scored 10 times. Joe DiMaggio hit out of the 2-hole in... I think that is his normal spot. Never mind. Went 1 for 3, 2 runs, an RBI, and a walk. Only 3 other Pirates collected hits, that being Rod Carew, Frank Thomas, and John Olerud. But DiMaggio was able to leave the yard. I don't think I've seen him hit a home run yet. That might be his first dinger of the year. Justin Verlander, after an absolutely stellar debut against the Rays, he gets a loss in this one, giving up 7 in only 3 1/3. He allowed 9 hits and 1 walk and only struck out 2 in the loss. James Paxton allowed 2 earned runs in his 3 2/3 innings work as well. And guess who it is? Kaz Sasaki coming in, 1 inning, allowed a run, but he struck out 2. That's it for the NL Central. Moving on to the NL West. All right, the Phillies sweep the Mets, so we're actually seeing some more actual cupcake performances here. Good. Things aren't entirely upside down in MLB The Show world. Cal Ripken Jr., 3 for 6, scores twice and drives in 1. Jose Altuve gets a 2 for 5 ahead of him in the lineup with 2 runs and a walk. Both of those guys hitting right around 150, so good to see them turn it on a bit. Lou Gehrig gets a 3 for 5 day. Oh, everybody joined the hit parade. Carlton Fisk had a 3 for 6 with 6 RBI. Great hitting day for the Phillies. I wonder who was pitching for the Mets. Triple for Altuve, home run for Carlton Fisk. Barely anything going for the Mets offensively. They did have 7 hits, but couldn't drive in a single one. I believe his first name is Ted Lyons. 9 innings pitched for the shutout. 7 hits, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Has yet to allow a run on the season after 2 turns through the rotation for Philly. I think this might have been game 1, so that might have been his first time on the mound. Frank Viola gets lit up. He's a pretty high attribute guy that I wasn't questioning his spot in this Mets rotation until now, because he gives up 7 runs in 2 innings, walks 4, allows 7 hits, strikes out 4. His ERA is at a cruel 31.5. It's all Phillies in Game 2, 12-3 on only 13 hits, so great situational hitting from the Phils in this one. 3 RBIs each from Fisk, Biggio, and Jackson towards the bottom of the lineup. 3 runs scored for Kiner and Sosa. Altuve, Ripken, Kiner, Jackson, and Gloss each have doubles. Biggio collects a triple, and Slayman, Sammy Sosa, and Carlton Fisk leave the yard. Whitey Ford with a solid start for Philly, goes 8 innings, only allows 3 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 8 hits, and only 1 walk. And Game 3 was another 8-2 romp for the Phillies on 14 hits. The Mets put up 10 hits in this one, but boy, the clutch pitching stats for this Philly starting rotation must just be stellar. Ripken out of the 8-hole today still goes 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. His batting average all the way up to .285. Carl Yastrzemski goes 3 for 5, another spring standout. He's only hitting .200 in the early going. Ralph Kiner with a 2 for 5 day. Home runs for Ripken and Pena. Sewell, Guerrero, and Ripken each steal a base as well. Yoenis Cespedes goes 3 for 4 for the Mets. Cool. Love to see that. He goes yard, too, as does Adrian Gonzalez. Walsh with an 8-inning, 2-earned run gem for the Phillies. He collects the win, his second of the season. 9 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. His ERA is at 1.58. Matt Cain looked really, really excellent in Game 1, but he ends up getting the loss in this one. 3 earned, over 5 2/3, 8 hits, 1 walk, and only 2 Ks. So he is hittable. The Washington Nationals take 2 of 3 from the Marlins. Game 1 is a 5-1 win. They put up 7 hits to the Marlins 5. Derek Jeter collecting 2 of those hits. Aaron Judge driving in 2 runs on his sole hit. Same for Alfonso Soriano. Home runs from Judge and Soriano. Jeter, Soto, and Leonard doubled in this one. An error from Judge and a stolen base for Jeter cap it off. I forget Brown's first name. Is it Leon Brown? No, Leon Day. There were 2 guys in this Nats rotation that I didn't know before. So Brown, this one, 9 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 hits, 3 walks, and 6 Ks. Blue Moon Odom shoulders the loss for the Miami Marlins, though he has one of the coolest names in the Legends League. He allows 5 through 5. The Marlins scrape out a win in Game 2, limiting the Nationals to 1 run through 8 innings, and then the Nats put up 5 in the top of 9, but it wasn't enough to come back from the 9-1 deficit that they faced coming into the inning. Jeter goes 2 for 5. Henderson goes 2 for 5 in the loss. He drives in 3 RBI. Albert Bell drives in 2 in his hit. Buck Leonard smacks 2 hits himself, but no runs scored or driven in. He has 1 walk as well. His batting average sitting at .421. And Victor Martinez keeps arguing to not be part of a platoon, but for a full-time role. He's hitting .461 after going 3 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI. Henderson, Bell, and Martinez leave the yard for the Nats. Sorry, I didn't mean to just blow through the power stats there. And Kerry Wood takes the loss for Washington, giving up 3 runs in his 5 innings, 9 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Luis Tiant gives up 6 runs, 4 earned in 1/3 of an inning pitched. I wonder if that was really the fault of the error or if that was just a bad appearance by him. His ERA is at 45. Early season ERAs are scary looking. And then the Nationals got back on it, winning Game 3, 7-4. Getting at it early, putting up 3 runs in the top of 2nd. Chipper Jones drives in 2 on a 2 for 4 day. Alfonso Soriano drives in 3 in his 2 hits on 3 at-bats. He does leave the yard. Chipper Jones and Buck Leonard both grab triples in this game. Alfonso Soriano finds himself caught stealing twice. Bob Gibson goes 7 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 hits, 5 walks, and 6 Ks, but it's enough to get the win with his offense backing him up. The Cannonball combo, Cannonball Redding and Jackman, don't allow any runs in their clean 8th and 9th innings, only allowing 3 base runners between them and striking out 2. Look like a great bullpen combo at the back of the Nationals pen. And that's it for Legends League box scores. We'll have a quick look over at the standings. In the East, it's the Nationals with the lead, 4-2. The Mets in the cellar at only 1-5. The National League Central is led by the 6-0 undefeated Cardinals, one of 2 undefeated teams in the league, along with the Tigers. The Reds, these cupcake teams are confusing me so much. Small sample, really shouldn't react too much to it. But as I keep saying, I think they're my favorite of the cupcake teams, and they started out 1-5. Go figure. Padres lead the way in the National League League of Death, the NL West. They're 5-2 in the early going. Rockies and Diamondbacks sharing the cellar at 2-5, like good cupcakes should. The American League East is led by a cupcake who are 5-1, and the surprise so far of the season to me is the Tampa Bay Rays only collecting 1 win in the first 6 games. That roster is way too strong, and MLB The Show agrees with it. They think that they're the 8th best team in this league, so to put them at 1-5 after 6 games is a huge shock. The Tigers, our other undefeated team, are 5-0 after their 2-game series against Kansas City. And the Indians, here's an equally big surprise. I did not expect the Indians to be 1-5 after the early going, but I guess this is also a bad luck of the draw in that they had to play 2 Legends League teams right out the gate rather than having the chance to play against a cupcake. Though, as teams have proven, that hasn't been the panacea, I'm not sure how you say that word, that we all hoped it would be. Here in the AL West, it's the Astros leading with a 5-2 record, and the Rangers in second place with a 4-3, and then it's the Legends League participants 3-4, 3-4, and 2-5 behind them. Pop Lloyd is leading the league in batting average with a 545. Oh, sorry, Mickey Mantle leading all of majors with a 550. So we'll go back to NL and linger for a second here on the batting average leaders. Remember, this is through 2 series, which is about 7 days of baseball. Yeah, I think it is 7 days. And then back to the AL here. Billy Williams there, second place in the league or in the AL in batting average. Fantastic. What are his ratings? He's an 89 overall, and he's just crushing it. Super cool. And he's angry. What? He's playing down from a 93 to an 89, and he's absolutely crushing it. The surprises don't stop in PFK, the show. Have a quick look at home runs. Willie McCovey is leading the National League with 5. Barry Bonds right behind him with 4, as does Steve Finley and Manny Ramirez. For the AL, it's Mike Piazza who's got 4, and a few guys with 3, so a lot less power coming out of the American League so far, which is a total surprise. Having a look at steals, it's still Tris Speaker pacing the field with 6 in the National League. And Jackie Robinson's got 3 to lead the AL. Have a look at these OPS numbers again. Still a lot of OPSs north of 1,000, but it's a lot less ridiculous than it was yesterday. I mean, Mickey Mantle's is under 2,000, so that's cool. Billy Williams is at 1,321. All right. Top cupcake OPS in the AL is from Jack Fournier, 1263. He's got 2 home runs on 23 at bats. He's hitting 435. For the National League, it's Barry Bonds leading the way with his 1504. Pop Lloyd driven by that incredible batting average and a great slug. He's slugging 909. Must be a lot of extra base hits using that speed to get around. What do we want to see for pitching? We want to see saves, strikeouts, and WAR. Andy Cooper, Rob Nen, Raleigh Fingers, and Greg Minton leading the way with 3 saves already. But it's Roy Face for the Yankees who has saved, I think that's all 5 of their wins. So all 5 of their games have been save situations. That's just bizarre. But he's rising to the call, only with a 1.8 ERA and a .8 whip in his 5 excellent innings. ERA is not interesting yet because there's not enough innings pitched. I guess it's interesting to see who hasn't allowed a run, right? There's 9 guys in the AL who have pitched a good amount of innings who haven't allowed a run, and only 2 in the NL that have done the same. Strikeouts. Ed Walsh leading the way with 17 Ks. He's pitched 17 innings so far. Bob Gibson's right on his heels with 16. Walter Johnson and Randy Johnson. Ooh, Johnson and Johnson. I wonder if they're going to be back and forth for strikeouts this year. That would be fun. Page, Bunning, and Ford right behind them with 14. Nolan Ryan, though, 21 Ks in 14 innings. Yes! Get on the train. I love that. Yeah, I guess the all-time strikeout king should certainly be leading the way in strikeouts, right? Has anybody not allowed a base runner yet? Not in the AL. Interesting names here in the low whip category in the AL so far. Walker Buehler and Shohei Ohtani are real big surprises, though they've only both got 1 start each. For the NL, Ricky Nolasco is the whip leader, though again it's only in 1 start. One of the 2 Dutch Leonards is doing well. Both Dutch Leonards are pitchers, and they both play for the Diamondbacks. And yes, they're both different people. Cool. One of them sucks, and one of them is apparently doing great. And then the overall WAR leaders in each category here. Let's see if Mickey Mantle has picked up a full win above replacement yet. Not quite. He really slowed down his pace after that opening series, but he is knocking on the door of putting up the first batting win above replacement in the league. Billy Williams has already put up more than a half, sitting at 0.6. Hornsby and Piazza at 0.7. Impressive on their own accord. And Barry Bonds and Manny Ramirez right behind Mickey Mantle. Okay, that's it for PFK, the show for the day and for opening weekend. Thank you all for tuning in for an awesome weekend of baseball. This has been just, as much as my expectations were high for what this league could be, I'm pretty blown away. There has been drama all day, both days. We saw some incredible finishes. We saw some great pitching performances. We saw some huge hitting performances. We've seen huge surprises by things that we didn't expect. We've seen people that we've expected to be great live up to that greatness. It's baseball. It's actually baseball, and it feels really cool. We're seeing some really cool matchups. Like I was geeking out about Masaichi Kaneda throwing his first pitches in the Legends League to Ichiro Suzuki. That was cool. Yeah, absolutely love this thing. So we're going to try to get some podcasts going as soon as this week. We've got our YouTube channel going. We're really set up to start launching a bunch of content into the internet sphere to share this wonderful baseball with as many people as want to join in and root for these awesome squads. Waivers are due tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so be sure to get your waivers in. You can either text me or email me those. Trying to think if there's any other housekeeping stuff at the end here. We will be starting on our normal pace tomorrow. So every once in a while we'll have some banner weekend days where we get a full day of baseball, but this is far from the norm. It's just a little bit much for me to keep track of making sure the PlayStation doesn't screw up and getting the new games out, to do that all the time. But for the most part, I'm going to try to get you guys 1 game a day at minimum, and hopefully 2. And then on good days, we'll hopefully fit in 3, especially if we're able to use that fast play feature on one of them. So the pace that works out to is we'll do 1 series every 2 days. So the box score breakdowns are probably going to be an every other day kind of thing, unless we figure something else out. I don't know. Still experimenting with the format. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for participating. Holy crap, Legends League has actually started, and it's awesome. Let's do this for a few more months, huh? I'll see y'all later. Bye.